In this tutorial, you will learn how to weave a triangle. This is part of a series of weaving shapes on the loom, and you can find even more information and tutorials on my website at fibersanddesign.com or on this YouTube channel. Now let's get started. The first thing to consider when weaving the base of the triangle is how wide it's going to be. In this tutorial, the base of the triangle is going to be 16 warp yarns. So what I'm doing here is once you've reached the end of the number of yarns that you want, you're going to turn it back around the yarn, just as if you're doing plain weave, but within this section. Now from here, we're going to weave up 3 rows, all including those 16 warp yarns. So to continue this triangle, or to build on the triangle pattern here, what I'm going to do is this. So I want 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. And then I want also 3 rows here. This one I kind of don't count, so I just go here 1, 2, and once this hooks around, it'll be my number 3. Now, now you're making rows of 3, and every time you're progressing the pattern inward. So every time, so 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So what we're gonna do is when we get to this second to the last one, this is where we're going to loop and start the next set of 3. And again, you're gonna continue it as you keep going on. So here I'm gonna loop it. Make sure to beat down. Now, as you remember when you are doing the corners here of the triangle, you want to still make sure that, you want to make sure that the edges don't look crazy. Like you want to make sure that it's straight, and it's just like the edge of your weaving. You want to make sure that the line isn't going in too much or out or not picked up. You always want to make sure that you're picking up. This one here, I'm going to tuck it in. Just a simple weaver's knot. I'm going to go ahead and just do that now. I'm doing just inserting the tail. I'm just going to pick up my loom at the back and just feed it through. Okay. Once I fed it through, I'm just going to pull it and just move it up. And it's fine. So now that we're starting the new row, I'm going to pick it up the second to the last one of the triangle and keep going under, over, under, over. And you're just going to continue this as you go on. Again, catching the edge. Making sure it's nice and straight. And then again, so here, going to the next one, going over, and just continuing. Here we're just going to continue building up the 3 rows, just like the first, and we'll just continue this pattern throughout until we get to the top of the triangle. Let's count here. So we have 3 rows on this side, and then we have here 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. So the second to the last one, we're going to pick up here. Counting these rows aren't only important for making sure that the form of the triangle is formed, but it's also important for later when you are doing either a slit weaving or any type of weft or warp interlocking method to fill in the spaces. Maybe around here it's going to be, maybe you'll put 2 other triangles next to the triangle, or maybe it's going to just be filled in with 1 color. But it's going to be important that you recognize these rows and are able to count these rows when you're adding new yarn to this. As you can see, the triangle form is starting to, form. So we can see here that's probably going to be something like this in this shape and that size.
You can see here is when I need to tighten up an edge, I'm holding onto one of the warp yarns to secure it and then pulling the yarn so that it pulls straight.
When I get to this point, this is kind of where I stop on the rows and building up the rows. So I'll do 3 here, and I think that's enough on the triangle. You could probably just wrap around 1 if you really want to, but for me, I like it stopping right here. So I'm gonna go 3 rows because there's only 3 yarns that you're really weaving between now. Oh, we have a very nice triangle. Oh, this looks great. We're just catching there, just making sure everything looks nice. Catching all the yarns. So we have 1 here, each side 1. Here we have 2. Again, just making sure the edges of each line is good. Okay. So here I have 3, 1, 2, 3, and here I have 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and for me, that's enough. That's enough for the triangle building. Yeah, like I said, you could maybe go up 1, but I prefer just to stop here. So now what I like to do, if it's stuck, if it's at the end, it's an over, I like to just go under. I like to pull up the warp yarn a little, the weft yarn a little bit, and I go under, and then over the middle one and go through the loop here of the other one. So under, over, and through. Now I like to lift my little frame loom and I just pull the tapestry needle through. And just gently pull. Okay, and make sure it's nice and pull here. Okay, and I'm going to take the fork, pat it down a bit, and there it is. And that's the triangle. It looks really great. As you can see here, this part, I think, so you can see here it's a bit bopply for me, but overall I think the other ones, the other edges came out pretty well. And you can like just see if you're drawing in the yarns way too much. For example, if you pull on it too much, it's going to draw it in. So you just want to make sure that the yarns, the warp yarns just stay straight. As long as they stay straight and with the other yarns, then I think it'll be fine. Okay.
So this was the tutorial on weaving triangles. This is part of the shape weaving guide, and you can find more tutorials on weaving shapes such as triangles, circles, and rectangles at fibersanddesign.com. And if this was helpful for you, then please subscribe for more weaving tutorials and please leave a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.